everyone, it's your favorite couple again, Fidel and
Nikki. So today we are going to be talking about witch hunting. Do you know that in the world of today, people still practice witch hunting? What do you think?
Yes, it's very sad. It's very sad that in the world of today, such things still exist. And it is a problem that plagues the entire globe, from America to Europe to Asia. Every people have had a time in their history when they dealt with it. We all know about the early modern period in Europe around year 1400 to 1700. The witch hunting, the lynchings of those that were accused of, practicing witchcraft. That was Europe then. But it's sad that, in some places in the world today, it still exists.
Yeah, it's very sad. Let's start. What is witch hunting? What's the definition?
Well, how do I define it? Witch hunting is the search and subsequent persecution, harassment, even killing of individuals accused of, practicing witchcraft. Individuals that are allegedly practice witchcraft. Allegedly.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. In the world of today, in some parts of Africa, it's sad that we always take the lead when it's a question of things as barbaric as that.
The funny one is, there was one time on social media that I saw them hurting an old woman. Said she turned to a cat, a bird.
I saw one. They set a poor old woman. My heart goes out to the old woman. A poor old woman. They set her on fire. And they claim she turned into a bird and turned into a human being.
How is that possible?
It was a very traumatizing video. I remember a couple of days after watching that video, I kept thinking about it. Just take a look at this video, for example.
In this incident 3 months ago, villagers watched as a group of youths torture 5 suspected witches. No amount of beating is enough for the bloodthirsty mob, and soon they set their victims on fire.
So that brings us to, the causes of witch hunting.
That is true, the causes. So the first thing is poverty.
Yes, poverty. Most of the places where witch hunting are still practiced are usually very, very poor environments.
Yes. Yes.
So poverty can lead to a lot of things, poverty leads to malnutrition, and when people are malnourished, they don't usually think aright. Some of them don't, their brain power is so poor because they are malnourished. Apart from that, poverty, a lot of poor people don't usually get exposed. They don't usually get good education, so they tend to believe in all sorts of things. And also the native doctors or the priest or whoever that is doing the witch, identifying the witches. Sometimes out of poverty, they want to eat, they want to make money. So out of poverty, they start, pointing indiscriminately at people who can defend themselves. And that's why they are usually old people. Old people who probably don't have children or whose children probably have died.
Or who even have dementia, because when some people are old, they start, talking.
They say all kinds of things. Some of them are pressured into confessing. So the dibia or the witch doctor, whatever you want to call him, he wants to make money. And poverty drives him into, pointing at people indiscriminately. The more people that he identifies, the more money he makes. They go to him and ask him, how do we get rid of these witches? He'll start by telling them, give me a certain amount of money, and then when you give him the money, let's go and set that woman on fire. Your grandmother, your even children,
Yes, some children are being flogged to almost death.
So poverty is one of the causes.
Yeah, so the second thing is epidemic.
Yeah,
What do you
sometimes, a disease outbreak, like I said, in poor environments where people are not, very educated, they cannot explain, they cannot come and with a logical scientific explanation to certain diseases. When there's a disease outbreak, they think is a cause from the gods. Some witches are causing the disease. So they go out and start burning people and start, So that's part of the causes.
Yeah, the next one is social crisis.
Exactly. When there's social crisis, there's crisis in the society. They wanna, for example, political crisis. Some powerful politicians wanna get rid of their opponents.
Yeah.
So they, arouse the masses. They take advantage of the superstitious masses, and then make them go and, get rid of their opponents, claiming they are witches, stuff like that. Stuff like that happens, in parts of the world, remote parts of the world.
Yeah, so the next one is lack of education.
Of course, everything ties to lack of education.
Yes.
They are not usually very educated to realize that there's a scientific, logical explanation to the disease outbreak or to earthquake or to whatever happens. It's not a human being that turns into a bird. If you are anemic, you are not eating right. It's not your old neighbor that turns into a bird and comes and suck your blood in the night. No, that's not why. You are anemic because you don't eat right. Eat more vegetables and you get more iron, stuff like that. So it's lack of education. Education also makes you realize that, a little knowledge of science makes you realize that the laws of nature, the natural laws are adamantine, inflexible, unchangeable, immutable, right? So a human being cannot turn into a bird. That's impossible. I know people still argue about it. Sometimes even young people are supposedly educated. In Nigeria, there's that video about the woman they claimed that turned into a bird. I went there and I told them, human beings don't turn into bird. A lot of people, even young people, what do you know? Go and sit down there. People, have you ever seen it happen? Give me an evidence. Give me a concrete evidence. Nobody has seen it happen. But they believe in you, so much believe in such superstition to the extent that you go as far as killing your fellow human being, a defenseless old woman. Oh my goodness.
The question is, were you there when she turned to that
this
animal? Person
saw it. You go to that person. No, that person. But some people are so, some people are pathological liars. They're gonna go as far as saying that they saw it when they didn't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that brings us to the final point, superstition.
Superstition, everything ties, everything, they all tie together. Poverty, social crisis, lack of education, those are the environments that breed superstition. Superstition cannot grow in an educated environment. When educated people, they tend to look at things. I mean, if you have any knowledge of science, you begin to look at things, scientifically. You go through the scientific process. Where are my evidence? Let me gather data, stuff like that. If you're an engineer, you tend to approach problem methodically, right? You wanna go through the process of elimination, stuff like that. But where people don't have any type of education, they believe anything.
They even believe that somebody can take their destiny.
That's a video for another time. That's the trending thing in Nigeria today. The destiny snatcher. Their destinies are prostitutes. Everybody gets it right. Everybody takes it.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's high time. We talked about Europe when they went to their witch hunt, but this was long ago in their history. They've passed that stage. It is sad that today, such things still exist, especially in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
With all
Why?
the education we have.
Why? Yeah.
So there are so many cases,
Yeah.
There are so many cases. For example, there was this case about a woman who was growing horn on her head. It was just a cutaneous outgrowth, a medical,
condition. Just like the tree man,
just like the tree man. This one is not even a disease. It's just keratin, the epithelial cells that our nerves are made of. For some reason, maybe due to her age, has started multiplying and it became it looks like a horn. It's just a medical condition which would easily be surgically removed. But somebody put the picture in social media, and Nigerians were screaming, "Holy Ghost fire, this woman is the devil, she's growing horns." Because they look at, superstition. They look at these pictures, they look at pictures of, what's this guy's name? The guy that played Jesus. Somebody Powell,
I've forgotten his name, yeah.
They actually have his pictures on the wall and pray to him, this is Jesus. The same ignorant people will look at drawn pictures of the devil with horns. So when they see an individual that looks anything like that, that's the devil, that's the devil.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's
we don't want to go on and on, but we want to, bring everybody's attention to this, witch hunting of 13. Please,
leave old women alone.
Leave old women alone. Leave children alone.
Yeah.
Old women are usually good people.
Yes.
From my experience, old people are usually good people. I grew up with my grandmothers. They were, angelic.
Yes.
Very good people, very loving people. But it's sad that old women who don't have children, who don't have anybody to defend them in Nigeria, they go through a lot of persecution. The fact that some of them may confess of certain things doesn't mean that they actually did it. People get old, they have dementia, they can start talking anything, and some of them are pressured into saying these things. So please, let's take care of our old. Even animals take care of the sick and wounded, the old. Why can't we human beings take care of our old? Our, and then the children too. Children that don't have parents. Sometimes it's even the parents that
attack the children to be witches and so on. So
There's this video, about children that were persecuted.
In the mighty name of Jesus, any spirit of
They're banished, raped, or murdered. Aid organizations estimate that thousands of children in Nigeria are accused of being witches every year. And often it's their own parents who think their sons or daughters are possessed by demons.
So please, we can do better.
Yes, we can.
Witch hunting, it's based on superstition. We should have outgrown, we should have evolved beyond that by now. So let's please stop it.
Let's stop it. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
guys.
for watching our video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Invite your friends.
Yes, follow us on Facebook.
Fidel and Nikki, Fusion Media. You gotta love us.
Bye.